Joan in Loma Linda, California, back to the phones at Open Line Friday. Hi.
Hello?
Hey.
Thank you for taking my call. You were talking about Bernie Sanders and Hillary.
Yes.
And I held my nose and watched it last night.
Yes.
And what occurred to me, is it possible that Bernie is actually their worst nightmare? He doesn't know how to play the game. He honestly believes in it. So he represents all the voters out there who have been drinking the Kool-Aid all these years.
Smoking the dope, you mean?
Yes, and they can't expose him without exposing themselves. For years we've had these, hypocrites run who say one thing and do another. But Bernie's their problem because he really believes in it. And they're going to have to take him out in some way that discredits him.
So
personally.
you're saying the Democrat Party, they go on and they talk all this socialism stuff, but at the end of the day, they're really not in favor of it as much as Bernie is. But Bernie is a true believer and poses a great threat if he wins, and that's why they've got to take him out.
Right, because he does stand a chance of pulling all races, all ages and everything, who really have believed that this was going to work all these years. And by calling it by its real name, they are in a terrible
I'll tell you why it's worrying. I think you're on to something. I really do. But the reason it's worrying people is that Bernie is pulling every freeloader into his orbit. That's who's glomming onto him. Every freeloader, everybody who wants the government to give them everything because they feel ticked off and screwed by the system and so forth. And many of them are young people who've been taught that by their idiot socialist professors. Our last caller has a good point when she says that Bernie is just the real deal, meaning he's not slick, he's not pre-programmed, he's not poll tested. He just goes out and says what he thinks, and it comes across as real. And as such, they got to be careful how they take the guy out because he's got something Hillary doesn't have. And by the way, this is true. He has a bond with his supporters. Hillary doesn't. Hillary's supporters are there because she's going to be the one with a D by her name. There may be a small segment of Hillary supporters that are actually into Hillary and really dig Hillary. But it's such an infinitesimally small number of people of the total that will vote for her if she's the nominee. She, believe me, doesn't get anywhere near the connection that Bernie Sanders has with his voters. And so her point was that the Democrats are going to take old Bernie out. They've got to be very careful how they do it because they could so anger Bernie's supporters that these wackos, who knows what they might do. Go find Ralph Nader and ask him to run again. Or some other silly third party vessel. She has a point about that. Now, there's a story here from Daniel Greenfield at Front Page Mag, which actually is just a story about an AP writer in Vermont who covered Bernie Sanders for 28 years. And what is this guy's name? This guy's name is Chris Graff. G-R-A-F, covered Bernie Sanders 25 years as the AP bureau chief in Vermont. That probably meant he's the bureau chief and reporter. I mean, how big a staff could they have had for Vermont? So this guy was all over Bernie Sanders 25 years. And his take on Bernie Sanders is that he has no social skills. Now, you figure AP, this guy's got to be a liberal Democrat. A, he's with AP. P, he lives in Vermont, so he's got to be in the same ideological school as Bernie. And he says Bernie Sanders has no social skills. He has no sense of humor, which, by the way, is the same as Hillary. She doesn't have a sense of humor. She doesn't know how to make you laugh with her. But apparently with Bernie, it's really bad. This guy, Chris Graff, who covered him 25 years, says no social skills, no sense of humor, quick to boil over, has a very bad temper, and furthermore, well, I can't, two other terms he uses to describe him, I can't repeat here, but okay, he's a penis. and a what else is a penis, and he's the exit hole. You go, okay, that's what he said. This guy covered Bernie Sanders for 25 years. And for these reasons, this guy said the word some people use to describe Bernie Sanders' attitude toward his employees was abusive. So here you have a socialist with no social skills who abuses workers and have no sense of humor. Sounds just like Joe Stalin to me. Sounds like Lenin to me. Sounds like Marx. Sounds like all the rest of these guys to me. But his supporters think, oh, Bernie, he does have that bond. There's no question about